thoughts on the coronavirus?
Nothing.
What about you?
My thoughts are, I think people are like over-exaggerating how bad it really is.
Okay.
I think, like obviously it could be, people are worrying about it, right? Because it's spreading and everything, but I think there's a lot more things to worry about than this.
Okay.
And I don't like how it's making like, it's creating a sort of racism for like the Asian
Against
and
Chinese
non-Asian.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Making a lot of
well, people are assuming that every Asian now has it, when it's like not even every Asian person that like was subjected to
economy-wise
it.
also for other countries and losing so much money and they're not able to provide for their people certain materials.
And we just came back from Mexico and they weren't checking nobody's temperature.
Oh, really?
That was weird.
We
that's
came
crazy.
back on a flight and Shanghai
The
came
same
off
flight
the
as
same
Shanghai?
and they didn't check anybody's temperature.
That's crazy. So,
They were wearing like full bodysuits though. They were wearing like plastic suits from hip.
Okay. So they attribute the start of it, the epicenter of the virus was the Wuhan seafood market. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. And they link it to the consumption of bats. What do you think could be done in the future to avoid the coronavirus epidemic? How could this have been avoided? Do you think it comes from the consumption of bats? Is it from other things? We'll get you in a
The problem
second.
is overconsumption, like overpopulation, right?
Overpopulation?
I think because it's overpopulation, so people are trying to feed themselves with whatever they can find. So after now, there's just like maybe there's not enough meat or whatever, so they're trying to add other types of meat to the diet.
Right. So you're saying maybe there's not enough deer or beef, cows or ox running around for the meat?
We think the solution to hunger is going to be the
Insects.
Insects. Well, have you seen videos online?
Come here and you tell people you're eating cow with soup and you're like, what the hell?
Okay.
Everywhere there's different traditions and cultures.
Okay.
People fend for themselves and do what they have to do.
Okay.
I think at the end of the day, it's just being clean up your food and you realize that it's not like
So if the CDC and the World Health Organization attributed coronavirus to the bat, then obviously if you consume it and it's transmissible from animal to that, then they shouldn't eat that, right?
Well, yeah, but in general, most diseases come from animals. Any animal. A lot of diseases, there's the swine flu that comes from pork, or there's a bunch of different, most diseases come from animals.
So do you think people should eat pork then, if there's a virus attributed to eating swine or eating pork?
I think people shouldn't eat meat at all.
So it's meat. Meat's the, you'd say meat is the problem overall?
Most diseases in general, right, that meat consumption and meat animal, because the animals will get the diseases, and then if you eat them, then as well you'll get diseases.
Okay. Okay, so no meat and then no bad as well.
Until what?
What are your thoughts on the coronavirus?
I mean, I think it's definitely, it's propagating a lot of like racism and just a lot of like racial like stereotypes. It's just xenophobia as well, and I find like people are using it as an excuse to like lash out to communities that they like really like don't understand a lot. So I don't know if you have like anything else.
What are your thoughts about the coronavirus?
My thoughts, I feel like it's blown way over proportion. I feel like people are making a big deal out of it.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, same thing. Like, it's causing a lot of racism.
Right. Now they say the epicenter, the point of origin of the coronavirus was the Wuhan seafood market, and in the Wuhan seafood market, one of the things that they were selling was bat meat. Bats for consumption, and they know from the SARS outbreak of the SARS virus that when you consume the animals that have it, it can be transmitted to humans. Do you think that people should stop eating bats, seeing the CDC has attributed this outbreak to consumption of bats and to bats themselves?
I mean, I don't really know enough about the subject, but I suppose it's just different between like cultures, because like we have like a lot of like different cultural beliefs and values, so it's very different over there. So like I'm not exactly like an expert on it, so like I don't really feel like comfortable like giving my opinion on it.
Right. No, what I'm asking is if, let's say, it's not an if, they attributed coronavirus to the consumption of bats and the handling of bat carcasses. Seeing that is the case, do you think that they should stop eating bats or consuming bats in China if it has been attributed to now two epidemics, SARS as well as COVID-19 or coronavirus? It's a tough one.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you have anything?
I don't know. I still kind of stick with my answer. Like, I guess I would say no, because then we're kind of like infringing our beliefs onto like a different culture.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't know. It's a very difficult question. I don't really think
Right.
there's like one
So
specific
you wouldn't look at it from the standpoint of it being hygienic or not? You would look at it from the standpoint of it's their culture, and if they want to do it, they can do it.
Yes, but I feel like they can definitely find ways to like control it a lot better
Yeah.
than it should, because like it shouldn't be spreading the way that it is. You know?
Okay, so they should be able to consume the bats, but if something happens to where they get like a virus or there's an outbreak, they should control that.
Yes, but also like the idea behind an epidemic is that you don't have like an epicenter and then the virus is spreading from that. You have cases popping up without any known origin, so you like can't trace it back to Wuhan specifically. So it's like
Okay.
it's popping up without like linking it back to Wuhan. So like that's what
Okay.
like an epidemic is like politically like declared.
Okay, and what effect do you think that the last question? What effect do you think the coronavirus will have on Canada, the economy, way of life?
I
et cetera?
definitely can't answer that question. I do not know enough about
No, I
politics
don't
to
know
answer that,
either.
unfortunately.
Well, you
Sorry
saw
about
that last week the Dow, the American stocks dropped. I think in record numbers, the highest drop since 2008 recession. What's on the coronavirus?
It's something pretty serious to think about, and I say it's so important to have some health and hygiene
Good hygienic practices.
practices, and
Okay.
yeah, I think we're lucky to be here in Canada. It doesn't happen.
Okay.
It's not happening
Right.
here.
So my next question would be, they attributed the origin of coronavirus to the Wuhan seafood market, and in the Wuhan seafood market, one of the meats that they were selling was bats. Now, of course, we've done research, of course, on the SARS epidemic, and the SARS epidemic was transmitted from bats to humans primarily. There were other animals as well, but it was primarily from bats to humans. The coronavirus, it's the same. With the coronavirus, it's the same case. It's coming from bats to humans, right? Primarily, as you may know, of course, from videos online, etc., the Chinese consume bats and bat meat. Do you think that with this outbreak, they should continue to consume bats? Do you think that's something that is hygienic or not?
I'd say they have to improve their practices.
Okay.
So maybe their practices are wrong about their consumption of bats. But,
So they shouldn't.
There might be some ways to not be unhealthy and dangerous. I'd say.
Affected by it. Okay, so my last question would be, what do you think? What effects do you think the coronavirus will have on Canada, Canada's economy, way of life, etc.?
Ways certainly tourism will be affected, but
Do you
I
think
don't-
people will lash out at Asian communities within the country because of the fear of the spread of the coronavirus?
But we certainly reduce the global, tourism. But about the, I don't know.
Okay. Okay. All
Except
right.
that it might help, in
Right.
fact, because they see that we have good practices
Okay.
here. And,
Okay.
I don't know.
So my last question, back to the hygienic practices, should they continue, or should bat meat continue to be consumed, seeing as there have now been 2 epidemics attributed to the consumption of bat meat?
I don't think that it should be banned, but they're improved. The practices improved. So maybe cook the meat well and things like that. I'd say I'm not a specialist about that.
Okay.
That product, but I'd say it could be continued, but better practices. So I think any kind of animals can be a way to get some health issues, but I think the good practices are to be followed.
The virus.
That's just scared me, bro.
Okay. What scared you about it?
Just the whole virus.
Okay. Okay. Now the coronavirus, they say it started in the Wuhan seafood market, right? One of the things that they were selling in the Wuhan seafood market was bat meat, right? The Chinese, they were consuming the bat meat, and we know from the SARS epidemic that the virus was getting transmitted from bats to humans. The coronavirus was transmitted from bats to humans. This is from the World Health Organization, the CDC, etc. Because of these findings, do you think that the Chinese should stop eating bat?
Yeah.
You would say, why should they stop eating?
It's not even about eating trash. It's eating stuff like it's not even eatable. Edible.
Not edible. So there are certain things that are edible and certain things that aren't edible. You would agree?
Yeah.
Do you think pork is edible? What effect do you think coronavirus will have on Canadian economy, way of life, etc.? Like how is okay? So for example, in the United States, right, the stock market dropped a ton of points. There's like something like 1.7 or 2 trillion dollars that was just wiped off the U.S. economy. Do you think those effects will occur in Canada as well? Do you think we'll see massive quarantines like we saw in China, etc.? You don't think so? You don't think it'll affect Canada? Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the questions, brother.
I.S.U.P.K presents the Lord's 51st annual Passover.
This is crazy, y'all. We in the arena. Okay, I can't explain to you the level that is. This place is going to be packed with the children of the Lord shouting in one word and one name to them all.
On Thursday, April 9th, 2020 at sundown, we're going to be holding the Lord's 51st annual Passover.
I ain't a people pleaser. I don't like people either. I don't care if your Naza Jigga ain't wanna meet you. Just give me my mother.
We're going to be located at the Westchester County Center, 198 Central Ave, White Plains, New York, 10606. $100 for all adults 17 and over. Kids are for free. Start sending in your funds today. For booking information, check us out on the I.S.U.P.K 51st Annual Passover Facebook page. More updates will be available soon. Last but not least, Israel, Commandant General YAHANNA will be accepting the men willing to stand for the Hebrew Academy 2021. The Lord's 51st Annual Passover.